Welcome to Rathalos Watch. This is the 28th episode of Shoot X Monster Return to Monster Hunter Wilds. In this episode, I will be discussing a water-based elder dragon from Monster Hunter World Iceborne, Namielle. As always, we'll delve into the monster in greater detail, covering its first appearance, overall reception, memorable aspects, visual design, combat style, and ultimately, whether it should return to Monster Hunter Wilds. We'll explore how Capcom could potentially bring back the monster, whether it should or shouldn't change, what new interactions they could implement, and how the monster could fit into the next generation of Monster Hunter in terms of mechanics and design philosophies. If you've been enjoying this series or want more hardcore coverage of Monster Hunter Wilds, then don't forget to subscribe, and also feel free to join our Discord and speculate about Monster Hunter with passionate fellow hunters. Link is in the pinned comment. Without further ado, let's begin. Namielle is classified as an elder dragon and was originally introduced in Monster Hunter World Iceborne when it came out on September 6, 2019 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and then later for Windows on January 9th, 2020. For those who don't know, Iceborne was the G-rank expansion for Monster Hunter World, which is the flagship entry of the 5th generation. Namielle is a unique monster that is based on deep-sea animals such as comb, jellies, and vampire squid. It's an apex predator of elder dragons that is completely coated in water and is able to also freely control lightning. It also has a unique organ that allows it to pump electricity into the pools of water it creates, which causes massive bursts of steam. Namielle has two different power-up states, a hydrated state and a charged up state. Throughout the fight, Namielle may try to apply both power-ups at the same time. Another thing that's worth mentioning is that Namielle will always start quests and enter the locales hydrated, but not charged. I will discuss Namielle's combat states later in greater detail in the video. Surprisingly, Namielle is a largely passive and massive creature, avoiding conflict unless provoked. Initially, it will attempt to repel the hunter, but if pressured continuously, it will eventually unleash its full offensive power. This monster was also ranked in the 18th place in the Hunter's Choice for Top Monster during Monster Hunter's 20th anniversary. This makes it a highly popular and sought-after monster for a return in future Monster Hunter titles. Fun fact, her water puddles can be drained by shooting bright moss at them. Namielle can be first encountered in a 5-star Master Rank quest, A Light from the Abyss, in Monster Hunter World Iceborne that takes place in the Coral Highlands. The only other locale Namielle can appear in is in the Guiding Lands after you unlock it. It does not appear anywhere else. Namielle can range from the smallest gold crown size of 1822.94 centimeters to the largest gold crown size of 2560.31 centimeters. Hunters can break its head, forelegs, wings, and sever its tail for carving. This monster is weakest to the fire element. So what makes Namielle so memorable and quite popular in the Monster Hunter community? First and foremost, it is a water-based elder dragon that is also able to control lightning, as I previously mentioned. That kind of a combination is quite rare for an elder dragon. If I am not mistaken, I do not believe there are any other elder dragons that possesses both of these elements and use them to the same extent as Namielle does. On top of that, Namielle's fight is a lot of fun. She has two different states that sometimes get combined, which creates an interesting flow of battle. The battle is also not that difficult, but not too easy either. It has a good balance for the challenge it offers. Last but not least, I believe it is her outstanding visual aesthetics that excite a lot of the hunters. It's a gorgeous monster with a lot of influence from the deep sea water creatures. Speaking of which, let's discuss her visual design in greater detail and then break down Namielle's fighting style. Namielle is an elder dragon with features resembling manta rays, deep sea fish, and jellyfish. Its large wings are black on top and light blue underneath, with rainbow-like stripes that constantly pulse. The head has a mix of red and blue with the same glowing effect, but when it loses water and dries out, its body and the underside of the wings turn a milky tan color. Namielle also has several long whiskers on its lower jaw. Once it's fully charged, the blue parts of its body glow and pulse more intensely. Personally, I really like Namielle's visual design. I believe a lot of fellow hunters do as well. It's really a unique looking monster that's based on deep sea creatures. Speaking of the deep sea, Duna, who happened to be the last monster I rated in my visual design rating video, kind of reminded me a bit of Namielle. It's nice to see Capcom going deeper into more water-based inspired monsters. With Namielle's visual design out of the way, let's talk about her fighting style. Namielle tends to quickly spray water from her mouth onto the ground, sweeping from left to right and then to the center. After a short delay, a stream of waves will surge forward from where the water was sprayed. Be sure to move out of the affected area to avoid getting caught. One of Namielle's signature moves is when she slowly works forward, spraying a massive stream of water out of her mouth in front of her. She also tilts her head to her left, which is the hunter's right. The best strategy during this move is to stay on her right to avoid the water stream. She can also follow up with a forward lunging bite. Sometimes Namielle will try to swipe swipe at you with her wings if you're in front of her. Try to run away as soon as possible so you do not get hit like me in the video. When Namielle is charged up, she'll take to the air and start pulsating with electricity. She'll then fly over you and try to hit you with lightning. The best strategy is to simply run out of her flight path to avoid getting shocked. Another one of Namielle's signature moves is where she sprays water on the ground beneath her, creating a massive wave that rushes toward the hunter. If you get caught by it, you'll not only take damage but also be afflicted with water blight. Namielle's ultimate move happens when she is both hydrated and charged up. She raises her whole body and head back, spraying water onto the ground beneath her. Then she goes into the air and slams down, causing a massive electric shock that deals heavy damage. Make sure you're not underneath her when this happens or you'll be in serious trouble. Last but not least, Namielle may fly towards you and try to hit you with one of her electrified wings. Just make sure you're not on her flight path, once again, to avoid getting clipped. And that is pretty much it for her combat style. I really like the fight. It's fun and keeps you on your toes without being too overbearing. It does take some practice to get used to her patterns and head placements, but it's more than doable to one-shot this quest for the very first time if you are patient. Unfortunately, Namielle doesn't have a subspecies variant or a deviant. Monster Hunter World Iceborne was where this monster was introduced, and she didn't appear in Monster Hunter Rise or Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak either. With Namielle's visual design and battle tactics out of the way, we now must ask the question if it's worth it for her to return to Monster Hunter Wilds. In my humble opinion, it is 100% a monster that I would love to see come back at some point in time. I do not know if she would be returning to base Monster Hunter Wilds, but I could see her in a possible title update, or maybe she can come back in the base game and then get a subspecies variant either in a title update or the inevitable G-Rank expansion for Monster Hunter Wilds. The one reason why I do not believe she might be coming back right away from Monster Hunter Wilds is for two reasons. Reason number one is Uthduna, and the reason number two is the fact that she's an Elder Dragon. Uthduna looks like the new modern day Namielle that shares many similarities with all the new wave-based water attacks. However, Uthduna is a Leviathan and is more of an early to mid-game monster it seems. If Namielle does exist in Monster Hunter Wilds, I am very curious to know if she would appear in the Scarlet Forest or be in a completely different locale, and will this monster have a turf war with Uthduna? I wouldn't mind watching two epic water monsters get into a fight. Her being an Elder Dragon also puts her in a tough spot because Capcom has gone on record recently saying that Monster Hunter Wilds is not putting a big focus on Elder Dragons this time around. This implies that we're going to see more basic monsters, or rather creatures that are not Elder Dragon status. However, with Namielle only being in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, it does give the monster a chance to make a return sometime in the 6th generation. Whether it's going to be in Monster Hunter Wilds itself or a 6th generation portable title remains to be seen. In a nutshell though, I would love for Namielle to return, and I know for the fact that she will come back at some point in the future. The community has spoken clearly by voting this monster into the 18th placement of Hunter's Top Choice. Capcom is more than aware that it's a well-liked monster. When she does return, I am going to be quite curious to see how Namielle interacts with other water-based creatures and just the environment itself. I believe she has a lot of potential for some interesting ecological interactions. Do you fellow hunters believe that Namielle is a good fit and deserves to return to Monster Hunter Wilds, or would you rather see something completely fresh and new? How do you see her interacting with other monsters? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and tell me which monsters you'd like me to cover in future episodes. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe with notifications turned on. Peace out and happy hunting.